women empowerment, environment protection, and wildlife conservation. Three causes that need a lot of support and attention, and the three social agendas that Seva stands for. Seva Charitable Trust, founded by Mr. Harish Parekh in the year 2015, is a not for profit organization devoted towards uplifting the women residing in the Sanjay Gandhi National Park of Mumbai. The organization continually strives to educate and empower these talented young women who otherwise lack the resources and the right opportunities to do so. Through its countless initiatives, Seva is able to provide them with the right opportunities to break conventional shackles and walk free. I would like to invite Mr. Harish Parikh himself, who would further provide us with the insights of the organization and the importance of empowerment and living an environmentally sound life. Thank you for joining us today, sir.
You're very welcome, Anisha, and thank you for taking the time to talk about our work. Small initiative we started just 6 years ago. We founded Seva in 2015. So initially, it was just to have um, to the issue that we were seeing inside the park at that time was the plastic pollution because of the bottles that were everywhere around, just scattered around the forest. So we started with that initially. We just collected all the bottles, and later on we had a partnership with a distillery company to give it to them for recycling purposes.
Okay.
So once that was achieved, we were given an award by them, in fact, for collecting over 100,000 bottles in a span of 2 years, and it was an initiative that we did together with distillery support for the recycling part of it. So thereafter, we saw that there was a great need for showing some employment opportunities for the women, especially the women and the youth who are living inside the forest areas, because their incomes are very limited. They're usually only the husbands or the men are working in the families. So we saw that by us being there, it was a good opportunity to involve people who can come and train them skill sets, so that they can empower themselves while they're sitting at home. They can work side by side, manage their homes, and work according to their timings, and make some side income, as it were, for their families. So this has really given them a lot of confidence initially, which they didn't have. They were refusing even to come for the training, that was given. So, but it did take some time to convince them to come forward, but we were successful in doing that, and we are very, very proud to say that the women now inside the Sanjay Gandhi National Park are making such beautiful products that are being upcycled, using the plastic bottles. So all different type of products, from posters to lights, uh, and pen holders, so many other things, magnets, and so what. There's so many products, and we also have very recently, you can say, we have established a small tailoring unit, as it were, where the women are now making masks for the last year and a half, with the pandemic that's going on. Initially, we started it 2 years ago with the tailoring unit, thinking they will just do bags because there's a great need of cotton bags. Once the plastic bags were stopped by the government, we thought it would be a good project for the women to do cotton bags. So, but after the pandemic has started, they have been again trained to make very good masks, which we are selling in the markets, the local markets, and also doing bulk orders for the police and some other organizations, which we are trying to also partner with. So yeah, we are continuously looking for corporate support who can help us with the orders for masks or for bags or any other products that we make, because we want it to be self-sustaining charity. So we want the women and the youth to become financially independent, so that they are not depending on the forest resources. That is our primary lookout because of the different wildlife that is living inside the forest areas, and these people are living alongside them. So yeah,
For the organization to move from targeting issues such as just pollution, I guess that's where it started from, to actually be able to cover all the other issues like empowerment and employment is like really wonderful. Like it
yeah.
spread itself and like just cultivate a lot more alongside. So that
Thank you.
even answers my next question, which was what were the values that inspired you to work towards these causes? So I'd like to move on with my next question, which is we live in a largely patriarchal
Yeah,
society.
please carry on, Nisha.
Yes, sir. So we live in a largely patriarchal society. There is a taboo when it comes to women pursuing their dreams. So, in your experience, like working alongside the women of the national park, have you like come across a situation where the men prevented the women from pursuing their dreams, or let alone just simply earn a livelihood? And if so, like how is the situation dealt with?
Yes, you are right. In fact, the women that are actually currently working, each one has their own story where the homes they come from. It could be the father doesn't allow them to even talk to the other males outside the family. So that was becoming very challenging to bring these people forward. Either the father stopping them from talking to men or getting involved in any kind of work, or it was the husbands with the kind of pressure on the wife that no, you should not go out and work. I'm the breadwinner. So this is the kind of scenario that we listen to literally every day from these women. But now we see what has been happening is because we have been consistently working on different programs with women with different skill sets. So, just the handicrafts is one program, but we've been doing so many, like I said, the tailoring unit. Then we were also doing the nature walk, whereby the women were able to cook tiffins, tribal lunch for the guests who were coming for the nature walk. So people, the ladies who were basically good at cooking, were being given those opportunities. So you see what happens. The families were seeing, the men in the families were seeing that we were basically working towards their betterment. So this gave them also confidence that the women working will be a very beneficial aspect of their own life. So this is how I think that we have broken that ground. Whether the men and the patriarchy system, as you call it, is concerned. Because actually, although our society is patriarchal, but if you look at our culture, it is, I would say, as an Indian, ancient Indian culture, we respect the women to be Shakti. So we also do believe and promote this in our work, that we like to promote and give the chance to the women to come forward so that they can be the Shakti for their own family.
Right, like so the organization is not only vocally pointing out the issues and spreading awareness, but the fact that it's going out there, working in the field, ground level work, telling people and showing people how it can actually be dealt with issues such as patriarchy, for example. Like and like you mentioned, it's so hard for like people to even women to even talk about it. But like Seva is like initiating, and I'm sure like the women of National Park are at a much different place today than they were like before the organization started. There would be like a lot of development that would have happened. Correct me if I'm wrong, and that's something the society certainly needs today.
Definitely, but the developments are restricted to a certain extent because of the forest surroundings. When we are working there as well, these are the initial challenges that we face because they're actually trying to keep the forest as a forest. So there are so many restrictions that we work with in respect to these things. So we work in the government given rules and the forest department's rules. So we when it comes to development, like for instance, we were thinking of making toilets over there initially, but it was not allowed. So simply because it will be like a constructing going on in the forest areas, which is not allowed. Primarily, the forest areas are only kept for the wildlife, survival. And because these people are already residing there, there is a lot of conflict where these things are concerned. So we as a charity can only do to a certain extent, we can only help them self-development, development through their own hard work. They can earn their bread or their earnings to help develop their own families, in whichever way they feel right. But we do not get involved in any kind of other developments that could be constructions or anything like that for them. That these are things that are very restricted according to the law. So they're just following the rules basically given to us.
Right. So right now there are like a lot of hindrances in the development process, mainly because of governmental laws, like the laws that are imposed.
Yeah, yeah, but then we also respect that because you see there are leopards in that area. There are about 32 to 35 leopards in that surrounding area. So what happens? You can't keep making concrete jungles. Already, Mumbai having this forest it is actually a blessing because it is working like the lungs of Mumbai. Having the trees there for that are centuries old, you see the way those trees work, and the new trees are totally different. So we must respect the human beings that we can never replace nature. And this is what we have started this charity for. We want to make sure that at least people understand that when we will be able to retain what we have of nature and conserve it. That's when we will be able to see a future. As otherwise, if you're going to be just keep destroying nature in the name of development, you're going to actually go in a self-destruction mode, which is already happening everywhere in the world. We can see all the global warming happening because humans have forgotten the importance of nature.
Right. So
So yeah,
development and environmental balance, like environmental protection, both need to
yes,
go hand in hand.
yes,
One cannot survive without.
absolutely, yes,
Right.
yes. They have to go hand in hand.
Right. And speaking about that, like I came across your Instagram page, which reflected a lot about environmental protection. So I believe Seva also stands for protecting our environment. So what are some of the ways by which Seva does that?
Like I just said now, I think the environment protection, the environmental conservation is very. I think it's the topmost reason why we did what we are doing. We are seeing that there's a lot of animals being killed, poached. When we were initially starting it, it was the tigers being poached and killed, and it's still going on. But even the elephants are in dire straits. Many complications with the elephants seen at the moment as well. It has been happening for many years. But we would actually later down the lane be able to, we have the funding, be able to start a sanctuary whereby we can work together with, rehabilitation programs for the wildlife and have something where people can come and visit and also have volunteers come from all over the world to help us with this kind of project where people can actually come and spend time with wildlife. But see, there are different types of wildlife, which are like, uh, you can say not are very aggressive. Like there are many big birds. There are wildlife that are sometimes abandoned due to problems in the forest. So like the cubs are left alone wandering. So those type of babies, you can call them, are just left out in the wild, and they are very they struggle out there. So they yeah. So we would like to start something whereby we can help practically. So we will see because it will require whole teamwork, people who are professionals in wildlife sector to come and help us. So yeah, this is something that we would like to do, but it'll probably take us a few years to get there. From now.
But But it's really
Yeah.
inspiring how the organization is not only focusing on development and empowering these women, but at the same time, it's giving equal importance to other factors like protecting our wildlife and how important conservation and etc. is. That's really inspiring.
Thank you, Nisha. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And a while ago, we also talked about how they're like women are being encouraged to uh, work in fields that they're already expertise in, like fields that where they have the required skill set, like cooking and handicraft making. So I'd like to know, like, what are
Right.
yeah, so what all kind of jobs are there? Like, what are the different types of jobs these women are involved in?
There are a few things that we programs that we were running. The first is the, like you say, the handicrafts, where they were making products using plastic and upcycling basically. And another was the cooking aspect of the nature walk. So they were basically making tribal lunches. So that's second. And we were in between trying to get some computer classes started so that they can learn other things like graphic design and even e-commerce selling. But we didn't have actually the computers, with us. So we were not able to. We didn't have the funding to buy computers and set up the whole place so that they can come and learn. So yeah, that is something we would like to do. But then we also, because we saw that the interests of the women were more into tailoring, so we arranged some machines for them to start practicing sewing. So that the training took them many months, for them to be able to actually make one bag so properly, with good finishings. So basically, we have been doing one after the other. So at the moment, they are very good at their sewing now. So they're concentrating on doing bags and masks. So at the moment, you can say we have three things going on. And due to the COVID, the cooking also has stopped because the nature walk are not allowed anymore due to the COVID restrictions. So the park is closed to the public.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
So like targeting, so basically targeting and cultivating existing skills so that like they can make a livelihood out of something they're comfortable with. So that's really
exactly.
fascinating. And
Yeah, so basically, by communicating to the women, we can understand that this person likes to cook or they like to make something with their hands with handicraft or painting. So then they do those type of work which they enjoy doing,
right.
basically.
And it
Yeah,
also creates a sense of self empowerment and like self reliance in them, which is very important today.
yeah, absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Moving on, my next question is from your social handles, I came across a lot of quizzes and workshops that are conducted on a regular basis. So, what is the motive
Right.
behind that? Like, is it for engagement purposes or spreading awareness?
See, the motive is basically to create awareness, yes, that these are things that are important for people to know. And people, especially like say the young people who uh, would want to get into the particular fields, or for their own self development, they want to learn. So that is first thing, and second is this the workshops that we do help our charity sustain. So because, like I said, we like to be a charity that is self-sustaining, and we just don't go looking for donations, uh, you know, to people. So, like, basically, we do work that will help our women um, keep going.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is basically the primary reason.
So, like organizing fundraisers, which is like a creative solution, and it's important.
Yes, yes,
Yeah. So, and
yeah,
like
exactly,
if you mentioned, like the youth becomes a part of it, and they're like, yeah, it spreads awareness. That's also really important today. The youth is more aware than.
absolutely,
So
absolutely, yeah.
that leads me on to my next question. Is there any message that
Okay.
you would like to give to today's youth? Something that would inspire them and me as well towards being a more active citizen and possibly help contribute towards Seva's causes?
I think I think that we need at the moment, because our charity is not so big. People don't know about us very much. So we would like, if the young people could actually spread the word on social media, that would be a great thing. People should know about Seva, what the work we're doing, so that we can get some attention from corporate companies that can maybe help us out in our endeavors. That would be a great thing, and also for us to be able to get bulk orders from organizations, and so that we can basically strive with our work and do um, all the work that we're planning to do, the good work that we're planning to do, we should be able to do in the coming future. So this is something that we would really we would need help with, where you guys are concerned, all the young, the youth are concerned. You just help us to spread the word about our work, really.
Yeah, such small, like small steps, but they add up to big results. And it's like something that today's youth should consider. Even I should consider this and like reflect upon it. So I would like to urge all of our viewers to please go ahead and spread awareness and take actions by yourself as well.
Thank you so much, Anisha.
And from our discussion, I believe like our viewers are very well versed with the importance of empowerment and living an environmentally sound life and being an eco activist. And I'm sure we've even provided them with a lot of methods that they can take individually, spread the message, and like little bits that they can do by themselves. Thank you so much for connecting with us today, sir. It was really insightful and very.
Thank you. No, thank you, Nisha. Thank you for taking your time to talk about our work. Thank you so much.
I would like to wish you and your team all the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you. You too, Nisha. Bye
Thank
bye.
you, sir. And also,
Bye.
you can visit their website and social media handles along with their comment of pages, links to which are provided in the description given below.